Sometimes suffering stays in front of me. I can't bear to overlook losses stacking up along the lesser roads we took. Yes, I know there's plenty more, and beauty shows when that's what I go looking for. Something kind will touch my day, but that isn't true for folks I meet along the way. There's a place inside we've never been broken. The peace is still hoping we'll find. Damned if they do, cursed if they don't. Captives of patterns written in their bones. Ancient waters took that bridge. Even our best thinkers don't know what the answer is. There's a place inside we've never been broken. The peace is still hoping we'll find. It's tranquil and seamless and perfectly clear, higher than thinking and deeper than fear. There's a place inside we've never been broken. The peace is still hoping before the last word's spoken. That peace is still hoping we'll find. I will stand with you. Will you stand with me? And we will be the change that we hope to see. In the name of love, in the name of peace, will you stand with me? When injustice raises up its fist and fights to stop us in our tracks, we will rise, and as one resist, no fear nor sorrow.
Amy Carol Webb, live in the WLRN studio. Boy, your congregation must be so lucky to have you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's not a local radio station. Amy Carol Webb, who just sang that song, is a minister at Glade, River of Grass in Florida. You minister. We have done that song with the choir sometimes, but it was back when there were more people in the choir. So nice to see you this morning. Good morning. Welcome. Thanks for being here. This is All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. It's a church built on covenant, not creed. We have these ideals that we hold in common, but they're not based on what happens after you die. They're not based on the teachings of a particular individual. We glean from all the world's religions, and we glean from science, and we glean from one another and from history, and every place that seeking knowledge and freedom takes us. So, whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, if you care to be here with us in mutuality, you are always welcome. We try to put a little bit of information at the front of these services so that we can get it to as many folks as possible, and to that end, we have a board person coming to share with you. This is Rebecca Tuggle. Thank you, Barbara.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Just want to announce that our Volunteer of the Month, and this is the last weekend that we can do this, is Kevin Henry, and he's here. And I promised him I would not say this for too long, but I will say that Kevin has taught me more about rocks and all of that than I ever thought I needed to know, which is wonderful. I mean, you know, I didn't know until you know you know. But anyway, another round of applause in the last time for Kevin. Our Giveaway the Plate recipient, and for those of you who aren't familiar, Giveaway the Plate is basically any donations that we receive, and we have a basket at the back or the front of the sanctuary, depending on your point of view. That is where donations are put. Some of those are for pledge, but for anything that is not pledge, it is given to a worthy cause that supports Unitarian Universalist principles. And this month, in honor of Black History Month, it is the North Louisiana Civil Rights Coalition. They provide educational research with their collection of civil rights data, and they are working very hard to turn the Old Galilee Baptist Church into the North Louisiana Civil Rights Museum. And so this money will help them hopefully to go ahead and work on completion of that. And that is it for me. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Rebecca. Like next week, we have a guest speaker. I hope you will join us for that. You want to speak about Josh? Please.
Next week, we will have with us Joshua Teitelbaum from Jewish Voice for Peace, New Orleans. They are a group that has been very much in favor of Palestinian rights, Palestinian liberation, and our not funding the battle against Gaza, basically. So we look forward to hearing him, and we hope that you will join us. And we also want to remember that we are very close to our Jewish neighbors in town as well, that we have wonderful interfaith partnerships with our Jewish and Muslim neighbors, and to remember that your neighbors are not the people perpetuating violence. So thank you.
So now let yourself relax into the pew and let the pew hold you up. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears and your feet relax. And let us enter a spirit of worship. We're going to teach you a short part of the song Nona Nobody's Pot and ask you all to sing that part over and over and over again. And we will begin adding parts so that it has harmony in it, but you don't have to learn all of those sections. There's 3 sections to the song. Nona Nobody's Pot means give us or grant us peace. So that's all it's saying. All too often, We pace the geometries of our walled gardens, believing we are traversing the whole of creation. With spirits of discovery, let us uncover the mysteries. With the eagerness of children, let us seek out the secrets unfolding in our peripheral vision. Let us behold each fellow creature with reverence. Let us greet each new day with praise and thanksgiving, for life is a gift of incomprehensible magnitude. Our lives are voyages with unknowable destinations. Along the way, let us meet, kiss, challenge, and support one another. Let us fashion a network of mutuality and extend it into the larger world. In these ways, we forge lives of goodness and beauty. In these ways, we know the life of prayer. Nawal El-Saadwi wrote this: "Danger has been a part of my life ever since I picked up a pen and wrote. Nothing is more perilous than truth in a world that lies. Nothing is more perilous than knowledge in a world that has considered knowledge a sin since Adam and Eve." From Walter Brueggemann, every totalitarian regime is frightened of the artist. It is the vocation of the prophet to keep alive the ministry of imagination, to keep on conjuring and proposing alternative futures to the single one the king wants to urge as the only thinkable one. Be a whisper or be a scream. Just be a voice for the voiceless being. Let no one think that the birth of humanity is to be felt without terror. The transformations that await us cost everything in the way of courage and of sacrifice. Let no one be deluded that a knowledge of the path can substitute for putting one foot in front of the other. Knowledge does not take the place of doing. Would someone like to lead the first part of our chalice lighting? Anyone? Thank you.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is a church of the open mind. This is a church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other.
Thank you. Join me, please, in the responsive reading. Every endeavor begins with a first step and encounters darkness and difficulty along the way. You know the darkness of ignorance, of fear, and of tyranny. Yet we know the dawning of the light, the beginnings of hope, and the renewal of life. Blessed be the eternal power which inspires us to kindle this light. Blessed be the source of light and of love. So be it. Amen. Blessed be. Ashe. Namaste. Would you join me, please, in the unison affirmation, rise in body or spirit? And say it with us as you're willing. Oh, shoot. Love is the doctrine of this church. To serve human need to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. I have a song that needed a piece of equipment I didn't have. What's the chord? That's it. Maybe not. Sorry, y'all. That'll do. Mighty river of the power of the universe carries us along. Past the rocks and rapids, you can fight it and crash, or bend it back to love and move on. Mighty river of the power of the universe, irresistible song. Teaches letting go in every moment till we find all that is one. Let that old river wrap your soul with her ever rolling rhythm. Let that old river make you whole. Give her all that you can give her. Thank you.
I'm curious, how many people this week heard the name of Next Benedict? I love the quote that Reverend Barbara just read to us. Be a whisper or be a scream, but be a voice for the voiceless being. And that is why I want to share this story with you this morning. It is not a happy story by any means, but I want to draw from it some hope that we can be a voice. We can be that voice. And where the being has a voice, as someone said, don't just be a voice for the voiceless, pass the mic. So where we can also pass the mic. Next Benedict was a 16-year-old non-binary high school student in Owasso, Oklahoma, who preferred they/them pronouns and who chose their name. They were a gamer who loved to play Minecraft, a straight-A student, and they loved all animals, especially their cat, Zeus. They were a member of the Choctaw Nation. They were also bullied relentlessly at school for their gender identity. 3 girls who had bullied Nex before were in the girls' bathroom with Nex and their friend, a transgender student. The girls made remarks, and Nex, who had had it, did throw water on them. Water. The girls responded by beating Nex severely, including banging their head against the bathroom floor. The fight was broken up within 2 minutes by other students and by a staff member who had been outside the bathroom door and finally came in. Though the students were taken first to the nurse and then to the principal's office, no one called the police or an ambulance. Nex's mom took them to the ER to get checked out after they were picked up from school. And while they were there, a police officer came to talk to them, But the officer told Nex that if charges were filed, Nex would also be charged for fighting. Because even though Nex only threw water, they had technically started it. Never mind what had come before. And even though they were so severely beaten afterward. ER docs sent Nex home, cautioning them to come back if they began to feel dizzy or nauseated, as they might have a concussion. The next morning, Nex collapsed on the living room floor in their home. Their mom called an ambulance, but Nex subsequently died at the hospital. So who's responsible? The three girls, the bullies, have also, I think, been expelled for fighting, as was Nex, though I have to wonder if they'll learn anything from that or if they'll be charged. After all, Nex was expelled too before they died, and as far as the school was concerned, they were all fighting. But what about all the grown-ups who are supposed to be in charge here? There are teachers and police and school board members and people in the legislature and the governor of the state of Oklahoma who have passed laws that not only don't keep kids safe, they actually target transgender and non-binary kids for being who they are. Laws about which bathroom people can use, and assigned female at birth. Nex was actually in, quote, the right bathroom, and that didn't help. You know what I mean? It's been proven time and time again that trans and non-binary people are not the victimizers in bathrooms, but often the victims. There have been laws passed about which bathroom people can use or what kind of medical care their own parents can't get for them. These are busybody laws that do nothing to keep kids safer or to give them a better education. So what can we do? What can we do? Grown-ups can vote for lawmakers who believe in truly protecting children and their rights to be who they are. Grown-ups and kids can remind our friends that we appreciate them for who they are. And when we can't always vote for the ideal person, we can bother them. You know what? We can call them, we can email them, we can remind them, we're watching you and you should do better by all of us. You should do better by our kids. Kids can look out for friends who may be bullied, and I know there are kids in this room who have done that, and I'm so appreciative and grateful for that. There is a group that meets here at this church on the first Sunday of every month, Louisiana Trans Advocates, that can remind trans and non-binary people that they're not alone and that there are resources for them, and resources especially for youth. There are people with power who feel like they have to rule by fear. And the truth is that they are the ones who are afraid of what they don't understand. And we in this church can look out for each other, we can look out for our community, and we can keep speaking the truth in love, in justice, knowing that we have each other, knowing that when we do that, we don't speak alone. So I encourage you to think about that, to do what you can, to watch out for each other, whether at school or at work, and to especially bother your elected officials. Disturb them, make them think. Thanks. And we are singing the children and youth out to their class. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
The first step is to notice the mountain. It is there, and it belongs to a range of mountains. There's no going around it. The next step is to reach the kind of acceptance that has us praying in our heart, Lord, I don't ask you to move the mountain, just give me the strength to climb. These words are from Reverend Paul Beadle, who was the minister at First Church in New Orleans. The step after that is where everybody and then several somebodies try to climb it. So first you acknowledge it's a mountain, it's part of a range and you can't go around it. Reach some kind of acceptance. Look wherever you gain strength and invite that strength to climb the mountain, to help you climb the mountain. It's a hard climb. They explore, they find footholds, they blaze a trail or make a way out of no way. They climb and finally one of them and then another reaches the top. And the next step, they come back down and teach us about the climb and the view at the top and the promise of the other side. With the next step, hikers follow the known trails and make them well-worn. It's still a tough climb, but there are markers on the trail now, and you're not up there by yourself. You're not there alone. And then another step. Some new adventurers look for a mountain pass where a broad road could be paved. Many think that that pass doesn't exist. They stick to the hard trails, but some believe in the highway, that the ascent should not require hiking gear and that we can all go over together. And at last, the mountain pass is found, and a leader appears to help us take the next step to build the road. When we trust the wisdom in each of us, when we tell our stories from deep inside and listen lovingly, when we feel the power of each other's faith, when our hearts are in a holy place, we are building a highway over that mountain. Join me, please, in the song, When Your Heart is in a Holy Place. Remain seated. The lyrics will be on the screen. We're only doing choruses at the beginning of the song and the end of the song. We're not putting choruses between every verse, okay? When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, when we see our faces in each other's eyes, that our heart is in a holy place. When we tell our story from deep inside, when we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. This is from George A. Tiger, and it's called The Army Mullah. You, Sergeant or Commandant, a young Afghan lieutenant, asks as he points to the cross on my chest. I try to explain what a chaplain is. In the end, he suggests Army Mullah, and I agree. Not the most accurate description, but the most meaningful for him. Chaplain has little meaning for him. Mullah, on the other hand, is something he knows and understands. Together with Army, we have a term that means something to both of us. As the night wears on, the Afghan lieutenant and I speak more, with the help of an interpreter, about our very different faiths. We both affirm that the ultimate character of the divine is love. We both believe that the task of religion is to help us live more whole lives. We both participate in a religious community of fellow travelers who give us strength. Certainly the words we use are very different. Yet as we do our best to translate our different faith languages into our native tongues, we discover more in common than we thought. We do not try to change each other, only to understand each other. Whatever religious tradition you call your own, you will probably find religious diversity even within it. You can believe we mean the same things when we use highly charged theological terms like God, Christ, Bible, or church teachings. Yet these words convey layers of meaning, not discrete definitions. It's important to remember this and do our own mental translations as we communicate with each other. That's what I call being religiously multilingual. We talk here a lot about using our universal translators and expect us to do our best to understand what somebody is trying to say rather than what we get triggered in us by what words they use to say it. You need not accept someone else's language as your own. You do not even have to speak another religious language fluently. But you should try to understand enough that you can carry on a meaningful conversation, build mutual understanding, and forge lasting relationships across religious differences. Every such conversation is an opportunity to move the world toward peace.
with a lifetime. Comes a song that sings you from the inside. Can't be here without one. Gravity and stardust, mirror pairs, the beauty with the horror, making sense somewhere. Over and over we stumble and we fall, thinking we'll be safer with thicker walls. Disappearing armor saves us. Didn't see it coming. One true heart that set me back to humble with her courage in such dark. Over and over I try to make it back to that kind of open, but on my own I can't. Disappearing armor saves me. Children lost beneath a cloud. The monster's voice is still too loud, and I'm just trying to do what's mine to do. Time may be the prism to restore this long division, but I'm back to you, making one of two. Maybe with a lifetime comes a song softening the edges till the walls are gone. Disappearing armor disappearing armor disappearing armor.
So last night, the headlines read, Israeli media reports outline of agreement reached for pause in fighting. Things have come to this point before. So we hold our breath, cross our fingers, pray for peace and aid and compassion, and that level heads prevail, that reason, kindness, longer vision get a strong foothold, and things totally turn around in the Middle East. What are we doing about all of this in the meantime? I'd like to share a statement developed by the Office of the President of the Unitarian Universalist Association and other senior staff of the UUA grounded in the values of Unitarian Universalism and in conversation with previous resolutions, statements, actions passed by our national conferences annually called General Assembly. This tradition is very much democratic. We go to these assemblies and we pass together with raising our hands with thousands of people in the same room and then counting the votes for things that have to pass. And all of those resolutions and all of those statements and actions of immediate witness and stuff like that are in alignment with this statement from the office of the UUA. It's kind of long, but I hope it says a lot about where we are in our thinking regarding this. There are crystallizing moments in the course of history when, in spite of the differences that exist among us, our common reverence for life demands that we speak with moral courage and clarity on the side of love. As people of faith and conviction, Unitarian Universalists share a belief that every human life is sacred, endowed with worth and dignity from the moment of birth, with no person more deserving of freedom and flourishing than any other. Our living tradition has long maintained that the only hells that exist are those we create for one another here on earth. We are watching in real time as the people of Gaza exist in a human-made hell that grows more unimaginable every day. At this point, I think the date was a week ago, 28,000 Palestinian civilians have been killed, and nearly 70,000 have been injured by Israeli attacks in Gaza since Hamas attacked Israeli citizens on October 7th. The medical infrastructure in Gaza has been decimated, and the Israeli government continues to prevent humanitarian aid, including food and water, from reaching refugees. And this week, the Netanyahu administration has announced the forced evacuation and ground invasion of Rafah, where 1.3 million displaced Palestinians have set up a massive tent city as a last refuge. The UUA, which is Unitarian Universalist Association, first joined the call for a ceasefire on October 17th. Rooted in our historic position as an organization, nearly 4 months later, the situation could not be more urgent. In their January 26th emergency interim ruling, the International Court of Justice found that these atrocities in Gaza plausibly constitute genocidal acts and issued an immediate order to the Israeli government to take, quote, all measures within its power to prevent the commission of all acts within the scope of Article 2, close quote, the United Nations Convention on Genocide. From this letter, there are links to these other sites that you can read, and this is posted on the website. So if you want to read more of what that says, you can go to this on the website and find the links. While the UUA has historically affirmed the importance of the Genocide Conventions, we know there is a wide range of opinion among Unitarian Universalists about how this terminology is used today. What should be clear to all of us, however, is that the Israeli government's forced displacement, punishment, and intentional inflicting of suffering and death upon children and civilians in Gaza is a moral catastrophe that our faith demands we condemn and resist. In that spirit, the Unitarian Universalist Association reiterates our condemnation of the Israeli military's ongoing violence against Gaza and joins again with the growing chorus of voices, and the list of these other organizations is also linked to this letter, across the globe, urging immediate and total ceasefire, the provision of massive emergency humanitarian aid, and the safe return of all hostages and prisoners. As longtime proponents of the crucial work of the United Nations and its official agencies, and then it says see resolutions from 1965, 1969, 1972, 1981, and 2010, resolutions passed by the UUA. The UUA is grateful for the nuance and thoroughness of the UN International Court of Justice's January 26th findings. We decry the Israeli leadership's ongoing rejection of all ceasefire proposals and outright flouting of the ICJ's, International Court of Justice, findings and directives in its ongoing military assault. The UUA further condemns the U.S. government's unabated complicity in the crisis in Gaza, from providing massive military aid to Israel to slashing funding to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, the UNRWA, for Palestinian refugees. Without international pressure, the Netanyahu administration will undoubtedly follow through on their vow to achieve total victory by decimating the entirety of Gaza. We call for the U.S. government to stop funding Israel's military machine and to leverage its unrivaled influence upon Israel and in the world community to intervene and stop the attacks on Gaza. Each day, the assault on Gaza continues, brings us closer to the brink of calamitous international war. Tensions continue to escalate among nations, and violence has already transgressed national borders and international waters. As a faith community that has historically advocated for peaceful resolution of conflict and protection of international law, we believe it is imperative that the global community respond decisively to mitigate ongoing harm and prevent further catastrophic loss of life. This terrifying moment calls all people of faith and conscience to do everything in our power to push our governments to interrupt genocide, address humanitarian crisis, avert multinational war, and weave just and lasting peace across the globe. In that spirit, we offer our prayers to all those working to mitigate harm and stop the atrocities. From journalists and doctors and humanitarian workers on the ground to Israeli citizens and Jews across the diaspora, faithfully engaging and courageously protesting the right-wing Netanyahu regime, to global, multi-faith, and secular movements advocating for ceasefire. We urge Unitarian Universalists to listen deeply, especially to the voices of Palestinians whose lives and communities have been the vast majority of casualties of this war, and to think critically about the ways the United States is complicit in enabling this disaster to continue. Like many, we dream of an enduring peace in the Middle East. Israelis and Palestinians deserve real and lasting safety, as do all people in the Holy Land. Long-term diplomatic solutions that honor international human rights and religious freedom are essential. However, in this critical movement, we must pressure our leaders to turn back from the precipice of unspeakable violence, or this dream will not have a future. We call upon all Unitarian Universalists to open our hearts and be present to the depths of human suffering in this moment, not just by one group, but by people of many nationalities, identities, and religions. We commit to identifying and mitigating the evils of anti-Semitism, anti-Arabism, and Islamophobia in our own tradition, and to address these toxic legacies wherever we encounter them. Our faith rejects all forms of nationalism and supremacy and insists that we struggle for multiracial, multi-religious democracy in our own nation and across the world. We encourage all Unitarian Universalists to take action in solidarity, not only with global movements for ceasefire, but with liberatory, pro-democratic movements of all kinds that are working toward a future that contains the conditions of possibility for a true and enduring peace. They then share all the other resolutions that the board president and the staff have contributed to, like a UUA ceasefire statement, a letter to President Biden, the statement on humanitarian catastrophe, and why we cannot turn away is a seminar you can find on the internet. Forces in Washington are withholding support for the primary aid organizations. They're continuing to provide weapons to Israel and withholding funding and weapons from Ukraine. 5 years ago, a candidate for the U.S. presidency asked Volodymyr Zelensky to help investigate Joe Biden and his son Hunter. Ukraine did not respond to the candidate's satisfaction. 3 years later, the candidate's idol and apparent hero attacked Ukraine. And at this point, 2 years after that, that candidate's chummies and puppets on the Hill are withholding much needed support from our ally. I can't say they're directly connected, but they feel that way to me personally. Sides everywhere feel concretized, don't they? Walls and ceilings are hard, inflexible, dark, and making cracks so that, in the words of Leonard Cohen, the light can get in. Where the light gets in is noble work. It's not always fun work, and it's certainly not always easy work. As people of conscience, faith, honor, and heart, we need to be about the work of making cracks. This week, here, I've kind of gently offered some suggestions on ways that we can approach that, and places that we can start the work, including internally. And some of them may have been subtle enough to miss. But next week, our speaker will provide us with more resources for doing that work. I hope maybe following the service, we will go back to the social hall and actually do some of it together. So if you have time, I ask that you join us back there following the service. He will be speaking to us from Zoom. But this is a community, hopefully, that, like water, wears away the stone. And maybe, like woodpeckers, make some cracks in those concretized walls and ceilings and positions. Next week, I hope you'll come back. In the meantime, let us continue to take as many helpful steps as we can, one at a time. It's too easy to sit around, watch it, and go, well, that's too far away. What can I do? I don't have the money to fly over there, and if I did, I can't get in anyway to help people. But it's our government that can stop it. And it's us who have to be responsible for stopping our government. So let's work a little bit together on that next week, okay? Please join me in our closing hymn. We're only going to do one verse, and we're going to repeat it a couple of times, or maybe several times. The song is One More Step. And I'll ask you to rise in body or spirit. One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step. Again, one more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step. Let's say I'll. One more step, I will take one more step, till there is peace for us and everyone. I'll take one more step. Then we. One more step. We will take one more step, till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step. It takes faith to believe we can crack these walls. It takes heart and courage to take one more step. But I believe in us. I believe in you, and 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 you. We can do this. We can stop this insanity and care for the home we share with all living things. Go in peace, go in love, go in courage until we meet again. Amen.
December dark and cold. Where is the light? When old man you was bending low. Where is the light? When the sun runs off a bit too soon. Where is the light? And there's nothing but a skinny moon. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. When it's dark each morning when I rise. Where is the light? And it's dark when my eggs are frying. Where is the light? And it's dark when off to work I go. Where is the light? And it's dark again when I get home. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. It's in my skin and in my bones, in my heart and in my soul. That light of light so bright and golden, like a summer day. When the sun goes missing in the sky, it is rising in my eyes, chasing all that winter gloom away. I'm burning bright like kerosene. Where is the light? I'm twinkling like the Pleiades. Where is the light? I'm dancing like a candle flame. Where is the light? And I'm flaming like a fruit flambe. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light?